If you ever feel out of control around food, you're not alone, and you're in the right place to learn practical, no-nonsense information about why you binge and how to stop. Binge eating does not mean that something is wrong with you. It's a natural but primitive brain response that you can correct. If you're ready for change, sign up for the Brain Over Binge self-paced online course for less than $20 per month. And if you feel you need personalized support, we also offer one-on-one coaching and group coaching. To learn more, go to brainoverbinge.com/subscribe. And I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the Brain Over Binge podcast, where you learn a simple, brain-based approach to ending binge eating. Thank you for joining me today. I hope the ideas and the information and the interviews that I share on this podcast will inspire you and will also give you practical solutions for overcoming bulimia, binge eating disorder, or any form of binge eating. Today's episode is going to be for any of you listening who are having trouble letting go of binging because you believe that it brings you some form of enjoyment. If you're a regular listener, you've probably heard me explain that the lower brain, or what you could call the primitive brain or the primal brain, is what drives the binge eating behavior. When you have a binge eating habit, the lower brain is conditioned to react as if the binge eating is necessary. The lower brain rewards activities that it senses are vital for survival. It's part of the motivational force of the lower brain. We all want to do things that help us survive, which is why eating in general is enjoyable, and why binge eating becomes highly habit-forming. If you binge, you know that when you engage in this behavior, there is an element of temporary pleasure or temporary enjoyment that's involved. However, you also know that binging brings so many consequences and pain. It's not like just having some ice cream and loving the taste and savoring it and then moving on with your life. Binge eating is eating to the point where you usually feel extremely sick and out of control and ashamed and worried about the harmful effects on your body. And it usually leaves you unable to function and live your life afterward because you're so full or you're exhausted from purging. But even in spite of these consequences, it's possible that you're still holding on to the idea that the very temporary enjoyment that you get from the binges is what you actually want. This can make it much more difficult to dismiss the binge urges from the lower brain because you will identify with those urges. And you'll see them as meaningful, and you'll believe that those urges are encouraging you to do something that's in line with your true desires, instead of simply viewing those urges as neurological junk and not worthy of your time and attention. To help you if you feel this way, I'm going to share another clip from one of the tracks in the Brain Over Binge course, which addresses what I've been talking about. I'll go ahead and play it now, and I hope that it benefits you in a practical way. I want to tell you that once you stop acting on these urges and once you stop following that desire to binge, you're going to realize that it was never any form of pleasure. Binge eating is going to start to look like the exact opposite of pleasure the further and further you get from that behavior. You'll wonder why you ever had a desire for that fleeting primal pleasure. That desire is simply conditioned in your brain right now. But once you extinguish that habit, you're no longer going to view it as pleasurable. So it's not like you're going to stop the habit and then you're going to go the rest of your life having this desire inside of you for something that you are no longer doing. You'll stop having that desire. You'll start to think that binge eating would be the last thing you would do if you wanted pleasure. And in order to get to that place, you may need to take a leap and stop the behavior, even though you're still having that desire and even though you're still viewing it as something enjoyable. I want you to know that you are going to be okay without it. The appeal of that behavior will fade away. And even before the appeal of the habit fades completely away, you're going to experience so many benefits of being binge-free. You cannot wait to quit until the behavior is no longer appealing, because this likely will never happen. When your lower brain is conditioned to think that you need that and it's conditioned to view it as pleasure and as enjoyable, that's not going to go away until after you stop acting on the urges. And the more and more days that you're binge-free, the less and less like pleasure it will seem. So just trust that even if you feel like right now you're giving up something enjoyable, that feeling will go away rather quickly. Try to see the whole picture of what binge eating is doing to your life. Even though there might be these temporary primal moments of enjoyment, it's creating less enjoyment in your life. It's holding you back from doing things that you would truly enjoy. As much as you can, I want you to realize that you actually want to give up this temporary pleasure of a binge. You want to give it up because you want better things for your life. You want to give it up because you want to avoid the pain that it's causing you. You want to give it up because there's other things you want to pursue. Viewing it this way allows you not to feel deprived and allows you to realize that you're not truly giving up anything. This behavior is harming you. So giving it up is going to bring so many benefits. That's the end of the clip, and I hope that the ideas that you heard will allow you to start to reframe how you think about binge eating and enjoyment. If you would benefit from listening to more guidance about various issues in binge eating recovery, you can subscribe to the Brain Over Binge course for only $10.99 per month. You'll get 119 tracks from me that I've recorded to help you in your journey to freedom from binge eating. I actually added the 119th track to the course just yesterday, and it addresses a similar topic to what I talked about today. The title of this new Q&A track is, What If Life Without Binge Eating Seems Boring? Now, the course does not require any commitment. You can join for just 1 month if you want, or you can continue your access for as long as you need it. Just head over to brainoverbinge.com/subscribe. I appreciate you joining me today. I hope you learned something that helps you let go of the binging and realize that you will be so much better off without it. As I wrap up the show, I want to encourage you and remind you that you have the power to change your brain and live a binge-free life. The Brain Over Binge podcast is produced and recorded by Brain Over Binge Recovery Coaching, LLC. All work is copyrighted by Brain Over Binge Recovery Coaching, LLC, and all rights are reserved. As a disclaimer, the hosts of the Brain Over Binge podcast are not professional counselors or licensed healthcare providers, and this podcast is not a substitute for medical advice or any form of professional therapy. Eating disorders can have serious health consequences, and you are strongly advised to seek medical attention for matters relating to your health. Please get help when you need it, and good luck on your journey. Need more help? You can find all of our current and upcoming options for support at brainoverbinge.com.